Have you ever noticed how sometimes what you learn in English class feels different from how people actually talk?
It's a really common thing, actually. People often feel like there are two kinds of English.
Right. There's the kind you find in textbooks,
Hmm.
and then there's the kind you hear out in the wild.
Mhm.
It's like the English you use for exams versus the English you need for, like, just hanging out with friends.
Yeah. And that's the thing we're going to dig into today, that difference between what we're calling notebook English and real English, and how knowing both can really make you a more confident speaker.
Okay, so let's break this down. Let's start with notebook English. I mean,
Mhm.
we've all seen it. You open a grammar book, and there it is, staring you in the face.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's those perfectly formed sentences like, she has been reading for 2 hours. Absolutely perfect grammar. It's the foundation, the building blocks, like learning your musical notes.
Yeah, you got to know the basics.
Exactly.
But then you step outside, and you hear someone say, "Give me a sec, I'm going to grab a coffee."
Or maybe a quick, you good, instead of, are you okay?
Totally. And that right there is real English. It's a whole different ballgame.
Definitely. Real English is all about being concise and getting your point across quickly, you know?
And it's so much more than just simpler words, right? It's like slang, contractions, everything is kind of like mushed together.
Yeah, and there are all these expressions, right? Like no way or gimme that or,
Yeah.
things you won't necessarily find in your textbook.
Exactly. But the thing is, even if you ace your English exams, if you only know notebook English, you might get into a conversation and suddenly you're like, wait, what?
Absolutely. Real conversations are fast, they're unpredictable, and they're full of these subtle cues, and that's where real English comes in.
So to put it another way, if notebook English is like learning the rules of the road,
Then real English is knowing how to actually drive, dealing with traffic, all that.
so the question is, how do you get better at this real English thing?
Well, one of the best things you can do is to immerse yourself in it.
Right, and that doesn't mean you have to move to an English-speaking country. I mean, there are tons of things you can do right where you are.
For sure, like watching movies and TV shows. And don't be afraid to use subtitles, especially when you're starting out.
Totally agree. I mean, even native speakers use subtitles sometimes. And what about podcasts? There's like a podcast for everything these days.
Oh, absolutely. And YouTube, right? Tons of native speakers just talking about all sorts of things. It's fantastic. And another thing I love is shadowing.
Oh, shadowing.
Yeah.
That's where you listen to a short bit of audio and then try to repeat it like as closely as you can.
Exactly. Focus on the pronunciation, the rhythm, everything. It's super helpful for getting that natural flow.
And you know what else is great? Just talking to people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how we all learned our first language, right?
Absolutely. It's the best way to put everything you've learned into practice. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be face-to-face.
True, true. There are so many ways to connect with native speakers online these days.
Exactly. And here's a fun idea. Try keeping a real English diary.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
It's simple, really. Just jot down phrases and expressions you hear people use, like in everyday conversations.
It's like a collection of real-life examples. I love that.
Exactly. And don't worry too much about perfect grammar in your diary. The whole point is to capture how people actually talk. Because that's the thing about real English. It's messy.
Yeah, it's full of shortcuts and slang, but that's what makes it sound so natural and authentic.
Totally. So keep studying your grammar rules. But remember, real English is all about putting that knowledge into practice.
And like we've been saying, notebook English and real English go hand in hand.
Exactly. If you're studying for a big exam, you definitely need to focus on grammar. But if you want to travel, make friends, or even work in an English-speaking environment,
Well, then real English is your superpower.
couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap things up here, think about your own learning journey. What's one small thing you could do today to bring more real English into your life? Maybe watch a TV show in English, or listen to a podcast, or even just pay attention to how people talk around you. It could make a huge difference.
I really could.
Because at the end of the day, the goal is to communicate confidently and naturally. And real English is the key to unlocking that fluency.
That's it.
So go out there and make it happen.
Have fun with it.
We'll catch you next time.
See you then. Hit that like button, share it with your English learning friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, keep it real, keep it English.